Herzlich willkommen zum zweiten Leading Females in Film am Zürich Filmfestival. Wir sind sehr froh, dass wir diese Veranstaltung durchführen können. Gleichberechtigung ist ein wichtiges Thema. Bitte setzen Sie sich doch. Ist ein wichtiges Thema nicht nur für uns vom Festival, sondern auch für die Filmszene. Mein Name ist Christian, ich bin der Artistic Director des Festivals und organisiert wurde diese Veranstaltung von der Müller-Möhl Foundation und ihrer Stiftungsratspräsidentin Carolina Müller-Möhl, die sich seit vielen Jahren erfolgreich für dieses Thema engagiert und dank ihres Renommees und auch ihrer Eloquenz es immer wieder schafft, das Thema auch medial auf die Karte zu bringen. Carolina ist eine erfolgreiche Unternehmerin, eine Philanthropin. Sie ist auch Verwaltungsrätin bei der Neuen Zürcher Zeitung und wir sind ja hier im neu eröffneten wunderbaren NZZ am Bellevue Café. Und ich darf sagen, sie ist für das Zürich Filmfestival eine sehr wichtige Mentorin, Bezugsperson. Sie interessiert sich stark für Film. Sie gehört zu jenen, die ein Lob schickt, wenn ihr etwas gefallen hat. Aber noch viel wichtiger ist, sie gehört auch zu jenen, die kritisches Feedback gibt, wenn ihr etwas nicht gefallen hat. Und das ist ja etwas, was wir alle brauchen, wenn wir besser werden wollen. Das Vertrauen von Leuten, die auch etwas Kritisches zurückspiegeln. Dear international guests, I want to underscore that diversity and gender parity is a very important topic for the Zurich Film Festival, and we are happy that we can have these conversations today. Things are changing in the film industry, slowly but steadily. And I think it's important that we can exchange on these topics, but more important is that after the festival, we really walk the talk and see that things keep changing. And I want to give you some insight how we handle parity at the Zurich Film Festival. I'm a big believer in mixed teams. It's scientifically proved that mixed teams have more success because you have more perspectives on things. At the Zurich Film Festival, at the top level, we have gender parity. Our managing director, Elke Meyer, who is sitting here in the second row, is a woman. I'm a man. She brings in the money, I spend it, and that's a very good role. On the second level, on the head of positions, we have 75% women. And in our programmer team, we have 2/3 women. And probably because of that, we are one of the very few festivals, probably worldwide, who doesn't have this problem to prove that we have a certain quota. In our feature film competition, half the films are directed by women and half films are directed by men. And the good thing is, not once did we have a conversation, now we should have one more film by a woman or by a man. It just happened. And I'm convinced that it happens because we have the female gaze, we have the male gaze, and we have a diverse gaze on films. How you were brought up, how you were socialized, determines how you see the world. And also, for example, yesterday night we had the chance to award Sharon Stone for her career. It was the 5th time in a row that this most prestigious award went to a woman. And I somehow joked yesterday that next year we need to do something for the poor male stars. We're proud of that, and we really think it's time that the parity is also more given in the film industry. And as I said, things are changing. Things are changing thanks to people like Carolina. And I want to ask you to come on stage and leave you the word. And thank you on behalf of my team and the whole festival that you trust us and organize this wonderful event. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Christian. I'm having a microphone. Thank you, Christian. And really thank you for making this event possible. Also a big thank you goes to Rita, and a big thank you goes to Elke and the whole team of the Zurich Film Festival. I think it's an important event, and therefore we are fighting for this event and for gender equality in the same time. So there is nothing connected with filmmaking that a woman cannot do as easily as a man, and there are no reason why she cannot completely even master all technicality of the art. This was written by Alice Blanchet, the French-born director and woman behind some 600 short films in 1914. In the history of filmmaking, women have been there all along, periodically exercising real power behind the camera. In the earliest days of the 20th century, women worked in virtually every aspect of silent filmmaking, as writers, as directors, as producers, as editors, and even as camera operators. Yet, their names and their contributions kept disappearing. For women in general, there is a cost of such forgetting. With history not being told, there seems to be less of a future. So, dear guests, ladies and gentlemen, as a protest against selective amnesia, let us write history again today with this event and at the Zurich Film Festival. And let's say, hey, look, there are some excellent female talents in the film industry. Surely you will agree with me, seeing is believing. So the more we see female role models in the film industry, the more women will follow. Therefore, let me start with some good news. In 2020, women directors in the US were more successful than ever. In the top 250 films, the share of women directors has been more than doubled. Yeah. End of good news. That still makes only 18% of female directors. Further, the statistic shows 30% producers, 22% editors, 17% writers. Do you want to hear more nasty numbers? Okay, here we go. In 6 out of 8 nominated Oscar films, women's speaking time was less than 30%. And in all other films, average speaking time is about 25% speaking time. So I do think it is difficult to be what you cannot see. So that doesn't only apply to women behind the camera, it also applies to women in front of the camera, as we just heard. We should very much be concerned, and you filmmakers should be concerned, about the speaking time of female actors. And we should also be concerned about what these women say when they speak, these 30%. And we should also be concerned about what role they're assigned to. Since this day, women are much more likely to take the role of a victim than the role of a hero. On top, women in the 21st century are also neglected when it comes to the transfer of knowledge, like in documentary films. In Swiss documentary film, for example, may play more than twice often a leading role than a woman. I don't know about you, but I think it's highly unfair. And injustice is unacceptable. At the same time, injustice releases productivity. And so we did walk our talk last year. As Müller-Möll Foundation, we do always walk our talk and supported last year the Swiss Women Audiovisual Network in setting up a professional directory of women in the audiovisual sector. You will find these leaflets, I don't know, probably on your tables. Dear producers and dear directors, there is no excuse anymore. There are most competent women around the world, and in these jobs. So I'm very happy that Gabrielle Bauer, where are you? Somewhere here. Please stand up quickly. There she is. Thank you very much for setting up this female directory. I think it's very important.
All a team together with my co-president, Stefan, and thank you very much, Carolina, for your support. It's fantastic. It's very important. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, as you see, talent knows no gender. That is why we have to increase the visibility of working women in general and women in the film industry in particular. I am very delighted to have with us today Christelle, Reine, and Linda. Our producers are from Lebanon, from South Korea, and from Sweden. According to the latest global gender gap report of the World Economic Forum, Lebanon is ranked 132 out of 156 in terms of gender equality. And South Korea is ranked 102. I think we here can only imagine what kind of obstacles you had to overcome in your respective countries. And you will probably let us know all about it later. So 90 years later, we are still standing here. We still have to fight for gender equality. We still have to make it happen. And we still have to have an only women panel here today. Thank you very much for coming. And now I give the floor to Monica, who is one of the greatest moderators we have in the country. And I'm very happy that she's going to moderate this very important talk. Thank you for coming. Enjoy the afternoon. Don't drink too much alcohol. It's Sunday. And please come next year again. Thank you.
Yes, hello from my side for this panel, which I can guide you through. I have three wonderful ladies here, producers, directors, and I got the chance to do the press conference with Sharon Stone yesterday, and she was talking about that movie she did in the 80s, 90s, or the movies she did in the 80s, 90s, where she was the only one woman with like 250 men in the room. And I think today we're heading towards that opposite quota, I would guess. I think we have about 5 men in the room and lots of ladies. So that's good. We're heading to that. So let me introduce quickly. It's Christelle Younes. She is born and raised in Lebanon. She's a producer. With her is Reine Semaan. Reine Semaan was born in Dubai and moved for her studies to Lebanon. They are both together as producers with the B on set. That's their production company. And next to me is Linda Hambäck. She is from Sweden. And why you were referred to South Korea is, of course, you have a little bit of roots there.
Yes, I'm adopted from Korea.
Exactly.
Yes.
But you don't make films in Korea,
No.
You make films in Sweden,
Yes.
and that's what we talk about. This panel has a title, and it's called Superwomen. Can we refer to that, Linda?
Yes, I think when we did the pre-talk with the Zürich, thank you so much, Zürich Film Festival, for inviting me here with my film and also as to be part of this panel. I think to be a woman today, I started the National Film School in Sweden for 20 years ago, and there was a truth there that where there was this culture context that if you were a woman, you would not be able to become a DOP, director or photographer, because of the camera was too heavy, and that was the truth. And I think it kind of reflects the palette of how these 20 years have been for us as, further way back, of course, as well. But that has been a very struggling time for women to really, to become producers, directors, to become photographers, because it's been a challenge really, because of there was like in the school, the National Film School, it was really difficult to go in there, as it is here and everywhere in all film schools, but it was like the truth was that it was too heavy. And now there is like so many talented women that are, directors of photographies. And I think we have had the chance of having Anna Särner as the director of the Swedish Film Institute. And for 10 years, she just stepped down as the CEO. And she has really, she did the 2020 by 50-50 around the world.
Or 50-50 by 2020.
50-50 by 2020, yes, sorry. And she really made a difference for us as in Sweden as a filmmakers. She said that if we have the taxpayers paying, the taxes for, all female and male taxpayers, why should all the support money go to only or mainly male? And that was just, she started to count, why should the female taxpayers really pay? It's really, and to be honest, I think it's such a great that they started to do this counting, that they said, okay, how many supports do we support, to male in all different genres, like directing, producer, script writers, and so on. And in 10 years, she really have made a difference. And as a filmmaker, it's really, we can change. Yes, very fast.
Okay, so that was a sort of a little overall
Sorry.
view. No, that's good. I mean, we want to get into the situation in the countries and learn more about it. Let's talk to the two producers from Lebanon. I mean, for us, probably Lebanon is a country where we don't see too many films here in Switzerland from. We don't really know the film scene, or I guess so. It's not, we haven't those many information about it. Let us know about how the situation is in Lebanon to produce films, if you can give us a little bit of a window. Reine.
Hi. Thanks for coming. I'm not good at this, so you guys, I need your help.
Can you hold your microphone a bit closer to your mouth?
I'm going to try. All right, so the situation in producing films in Lebanon, it's not only hard for women, the current situation, I mean, but it's, let me say, 80% of film producers are women in Lebanon, but in the Middle East, it's not. In Lebanon, they do appreciate the woman figure on set. They know she's on top of things. But yet again, if a woman wants to ask for money, she's not trusted to be given. That's the problem we have. If a man asks for an amount of funding to make a film, he's given that amount, he's on top of things, and then he will hire a woman producer to actually execute, because she can actually meet a deadline, she's on top of things, she's gonna be, she's gonna be up everybody's ass to make their job and get it done. But end of the day, credits go to the man who got the money to make the film. And I think that sums up most of the women producers, except out of Lebanon. Because in Lebanon, we're a bit okay on hiring women, not so okay in the DOP section and the technical stuff. But in the Middle East, and we've worked in other parts of the Middle East, it's been bad. It's been bad. We'd actually ask people of stuff on set, and they shadow us. And to them, it's, why would I listen to her? Because I am producing the job you're actually on set to do. But it was horrible, it was bad. And, I don't think that makes us want to stop doing what we do, because we used to freelance. And then 6 years ago, me and Christelle were like, you know what? Fuck this shit. We're going to do our own thing. We want to do our own thing, because I cannot hear anybody saying, you can't. Yes, I can. And if I can, I will. And if I will, you will watch it. And if it's good enough, it's going to get out there. And it's out there because I'm here. And I'm here and I'm talking to you. And half of the Lebanese people right now know I'm here. So they're forced to listen to me. So thank you for this. And,
Christelle, maybe you tell us how you got into the film industry.
I started working in the advertising field as I was going to school. when I was 18, and then I've had enough of shooting commercials for Dettol and Pepsi, and I was like, no, I did not go to uni to do this. I need to do something that is impactful, that can change. So I met Reine, and we both had this need to have a production house of our own, to be the decision makers, and we decided to establish the company in Lebanon. Because we were both freelancers and our bosses were men, I personally was in a very good position at work, but I always had to take an approval from someone else, and it was not always the right decision to take. And I felt, why do I have to keep, taking decisions that I'm not convinced with? So I was like, Reine, let's do that. Let's do our company. Let's establish a good one. Let's do films. Let's make change. And when we established the company, we didn't have in our mind the thought that we need to hire women. No, we need to raise the good products, and we need to find the right talent. And there are a lot of good voices in Lebanon and a lot of talent. They just need to be picked, and they just need to be listened to. And women are very good listeners. So, and I believe we have less ego. So this makes any job better, honestly. So, and this is what happened. So we started doing short films, and then our debut film was Death of a Virgin, that is currently in the festival. And I have to say that we got the support of the director so much.
Who is here with us too?
Yes,
George?
he's here with us. Hello, George.
Behind the pole, hiding.
I wish there were more men like George to support women, because he knows, he knows we do good things, and he really respects the position of a producer and what she's allowed to say and what she means and what's the good for the project. So I honestly feel blessed, but I feel that this panel is very important because we need to help more women to get in better positions, because we have the talent. Why not?
So it's the solidarity that's necessary,
Yes,
and the
of course.
sharing of all this power and this information. But there's one point. You just said it needs more men like George, who
Yes.
sort of sees your work and supports you. Is it sometimes men who have to uplift women? Do you experience that?
I think it's more personalities. I think it's more a character-wise, and for me, I worked as a I also worked within the advertising industry first, and then I worked. I do animation, so then I worked at an animated production company owned by 4 men for 7 years, and then 10 years ago, I went with my family to India. And after that trip, we were there for 3 months, and then I was going back to work, and I just said, I gotta do it. So I quit the same day I came back and started 10 years ago, my own production company. Because I was also, I think a lot of women that was why the superwoman came in. Because I think a lot of women are really good in producing and really good in all different tasks, but they never get invited to own a company. They never get invited to become maybe directors if they want to come. And for me, it was I dreamt to be a director, but I was good in producing, so they kept me there, because it's great to have a great producer. That's what you dream of. So then I started my company, and I want to inspire all of you guys here that if you want to change, do different, if you want to do another task, because our industry becomes different, and you want to develop yourself within different genres, of course, and then you just get to start your own business and own your property and own your thought, because I think it's so important for you guys to. In Sweden, I think we have a good possibility to raise money and all that in terms of financing and so on, but. Still, there is so many. I think it's 5% of production company that owns by women. Most of the production company owns by men still. And I think if you want to take a lead of something, your dreams, what you want to become one day, you need to own your own thoughts, and that could be doing by owning your own production company. So at least you don't get someone that you said as well, no, that someone would, you have an idea and someone on the board will say, no, we don't think about that. I want to do my own film, so you can't.
So you need the control
Yes,
actually
I
of the
think
whole
so.
process.
And I think that's another step in female also to become this equal rights.
I think
Yeah.
I think it's more it's more mental when it comes to us. Like if you believe you can, because you can, so you can. Just do it. Yeah, like don't wait for anybody's permission. Don't ask if you can or if you can't. If you want to do, if you want to write a script, write a script. Take a weekend off and think about it, and the next weekend, and then the weekend will become bigger and then extended, and then there's a script. If you want to direct, go on and direct. Don't wait for anybody's permission, because I refuse to wait, and I'm so happy that I got where I got. It's simple, but I'm fine with it. I love it, and because I didn't wait for anybody, because if me and Christelle have waited, we're still doing like Dove and shampoo, and this pink is not the same pink from the packaging, and we can, yeah, you know what I mean. So you can, if you want to do it, do it.
Yes, it's an applause. I think we have to get all a piece of Reine. Huh? Reine as our role model. But talking of role models, I mean, it's always important to have like someone to maybe who already worked on put the ground on the things. I mean, you were talking of Anna Sörner. She is very important in Sweden with the 50-50 and 2020 initiative. How is it in Lebanon? I mean, the film industry in Lebanon, I did a little bit of research. I mean, in the 30s it was big. There were lots of women in the film industry, and producers, also directors, and then with the video art in the 70s, it became even also a women's thing. What are your role models in that sense?
First, let me say that 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 3, Nadine Labaki was in this festival. And Nadine, if some of you know her, she's already done 3 feature films, and she really hustled to be where she is today. And she's a film director that I really respect a lot, and I believe she put us on the map in terms of cinema. So I'm so happy that in 2021 there are 2 female producers from Lebanon that are now shedding the light on Lebanese cinema. So now we have a director and we have 2 producers. Hopefully, I don't know, people maybe need to wait for another cinematographer to come and another sound engineer to prove that everyone can do a great job. But I mean, we're hustling, but we're getting there with the support of people like you. Thank you so much. Well, role models. I honestly, I think it starts within your own house. If your mom is someone that is a tough personality and unstoppable, this is how you will become. I mean, in the case of the film that we just shot with the director, he rehearsed with his actors for 5 years, and he applied for funds, and he got rejections from all the funds. He came to us, he was like, okay, let me see these 2 producers. We read the script, we looked at each other, and we were like, okay, he has no funds, so what? We have a lot of connections in the country. We have a lot of friends that are the best head of departments in the country. Let's just ask them for a favor and to do a film for free. And this is what happened. I'm pretty sure maybe any other male producer wouldn't have had this ego to go say, okay, you know what, I don't have money. Could you work for me for free? And this is what happened. We were able to hire 40 people for free. And it turned out to be the best project we've ever done, and we're here today. So I think it's very important to appreciate yourself and know you are unstoppable if you want to. And that this is all that it takes. I mean, it's a personality thing, and we need to push each other. This is what I believe is very important, honestly. Thank you.
You were talking about how the last 10 years it changed in Sweden, or it became even more important, and the support of women, the quota also. How is the solidarity? Did that grow also? Was that a very strong, let's say, string?
Yes, I would say that the positive in last 10 years is also that the Film Institute and also the regional film funds started to do networking for women, actually. Because of seeing back there was a lot of males have been, helping each other out a lot, and women has not been helping each other so much. So they started to do this networking for women, and it's so great. I've been part of these networking and courses, and it has really started to become like especially for us filmmakers that sits very much small production companies, then you can just reach out, give someone a call and ask, how was that financing thing, or we help each other out. And I think it has really broadened up and opened up new resources for everyone, and it's so much more fun. Yes.
Reine, you look skeptical.
And I mean, in Lebanon, the women do get together and they do push each other, and they talk about the next march or the next movement or the next project they want to do. And I'm always in a fight, and a constant fight with them. And I'm here because I am part of this, but what I believe, half of you are going to hate me right now, but it's okay. I mean, why go out on the street and scream? Why not go on set and make a film? To me, put your energy where everybody can see it. We've been screaming. Women have been screaming since the 60s, 70s, and we're still screaming. And I'm not against the screaming, sometimes. I'm not against the screaming, but I mean, if we're 100, that's 3 film crew, that's, 4 factories of chocolate, that's 5 clothing stores. I mean, that's how you put yourself on the map, Let's scream, but then let's make something out of it. And that's what I believe that should be done.
And it's also about what stories you tell on the screen, right? I mean, Carolina was talking about, there's still less women talking on screen, or they're telling their stories on screen. How much impact does that have, or had in the last 10 years in Sweden? Like more women talking, being the protagonists, how did that change?
I think it has changed because of it automatically when there is more female behind the camera, then you have other stories to tell. It's normal, and I think it's it doesn't. It's not that I think as a female filmmaker that I have to put a girl in front, but it just happened to be that I have. But my next film will be guys. So I think it's important to just think about the stories and also diversity, of course. That it should be like, it's not only equality, it's also diversity, that you have different stories, and that's a challenge we still have in Sweden, of course. That a lot of, we can see in this room, it's not, a lot of people are from the same maybe economical situation, the upbringing and so on. So we need to voices, different voices, diversity of voices will make different stories. That's it, I think.
Your film, The Ape Star, is shown here. What is it about? Maybe short, briefly?
Yeah, it's about a girl that lives in an orphanage, and one day there is this new mother coming to adopt her, and she just happens to be a gorilla. And that mother is an outcast of the city, and she is one of these, one of these outsiders, and it's just the girl gets a little bit afraid first, but then they really become mother and daughter. But then the community man Tord comes in and threatens their existence.
Was it difficult to fund it?
No, actually not. It has been it was a big production. I've been working 3 years full time on that film, and I bought the right for the book. It's based on a book by Frida Nilsson. And I bought the right 2014, so it takes forever to make animations.
But it takes forever also to make your first film. This is called The Death of a Virgin. You were mentioning it, and it's the story of 4 guys. Yes. Your first film you produce is the story of 4 young men with a director, and these 4 men want to lose their virginity.
Yes. Yes.
So tell us a bit about the project.
So
before we open it up to discussion.
So the film is a road movie where the camera follows these 4 boys in their journey to lose their virginity for the first time. You might think that this is a boys' film, I mean, from the synopsis, but it's not. It's actually a very, very, very sensitive film that takes you throughout the journey to the internal monologues of everyone they encounter on their way, and to see how sensitive people are. And maybe when you leave the film, you will feel the need to be less judgmental, because we are all in this together, and we all have our issues, and we all have our ups and downs and our insecurities. So yeah, the film is very, very sensitive. It's true, it's about 4 boys, but it leaves you with a lot of thinking after the film, because you would relate to them, to the people they know, to their dreams, to their ups and downs. And actually, a lot of female relate a lot to the film, especially the fact that you have the thoughts in your mind that they're going to see a prostitute. And we might be judgmental that a prostitute, I mean, whatever. But if you look inside this prostitute, and I don't want to spoil the film, I mean, the moment when he's with her and when he can see through her as a human being, you would feel very bad. Yes, less alone and very bad for judging this person. And you will all of a sudden feel very sympathetic with women. So that's why a lot of women love the film. So I advise all the women here also to watch it. And it really took us only reading the script to see how genuine the film was. And I believe this is what matters when you do films. It's not about if it's a man or a woman acting, or even it's not the synopsis. It's how much genuine the project is and how truthful it is. Because, I mean, if it's not truthful, you as an audience are going to figure out that, okay, I cannot relate, and why did I waste an hour and a half of my time for this, while you can dig inside yourself more and just be more human. I mean, at the end of the day, the film, in most of the moments of self-reflection, reflects on how we think we are going to die. I mean, 60 years later, maybe, or 20 years later. But at the end of the day, you cannot really tell. So how about you enjoy the moment right now and just be a human, less judgmental, and easy on yourself. I think we as a human being are very harsh on ourselves. And I think George also thinks this, and Reine was also, she related to this subject. And this is why we thought, you know what, we need to do this film. It speaks for a lot of people.
What was it that you added sort of as two producers, female producers, to the project, to the script?
I don't think anyone would have done the film for zero budget, honestly. I mean, I think this is our added value. And also, Reine and I'm the creative executive producer with George, so we sit a lot, we talk. I mean, if I let George write everything he has in his mind, we will do a 10-hour film. So I was there just to tell him, okay, wait, you're going to do other films, you're going to say more things, stop here. Yeah, this is, I mean, he had to have a producer on his side where he can just take a day off or 10 days off, let me work with the team, and then come back to him and give him the seat of the director and ask him to watch and judge. Because it's so hard. I mean, when you've written the film and you've rehearsed for 5 years, you cannot judge anymore if you're doing a good job or not. Reine, on the other hand, was there to say, okay, guys, you said 5 days for the editing. This is 3 weeks later. I mean, okay, everyone's working for free, so no. She was always there to put us back on the right track, to stick to schedule, to stick to budget. And I mean, I'm very diplomatic. She's not, which is amazing. I get tired of being diplomatic. She needs to be the one that's tough, straightforward, and just to put us all on the right map.
Not true.
Thank God for Reine. Yes.
It's not true.
It's not true. It's very true. She's saying something wrong about you.
The thing is, he's a good listener as well, and I think the woman producer thing just makes it more loving, you know, because we work well, we know what we want to do, but we don't do it because everybody needs to be on set like that. No, you know, one happy family, one happy film, you know, and women tend to have that on set. They know what they want, they get shit done, and you don't want to upset a woman on set. You know, especially on specific days, that'll be like horrible. But you know what I mean. But I mean, there's always a motherly, sisterly instinct that gets everybody going. You give someone 3 minutes of your time to listen to unnecessary story that's nothing got to do with the film, but you give them that time, and it just brings people closer together. And it doesn't matter if there's a man on the screen or woman on the screen. We're not gonna do like men do, and we're gonna go all women, and then we have to put up with men asking for their rights. You know, we can barely get ours at the moment. So yeah, you know. But and it was fine, and the boys were fine, and we loved every second of it, and we budgeted it so well that we did it for free as women. I mean, the budget was amazing, and I think that's how we got it through. You know.
Yeah, but that's always a problem also, you know, that women do it for free.
And
then,
the Middle
the
East,
next
it's a
film
problem.
shouldn't be for free.
Yes, of course. But you know, in the Middle East, the funding is hard anyway, for us or any other production house. Money coming through.
How does it work?
Yeah, like private investors do their thing with the same people, and it repeats itself. And then any newcomers are not so welcome. They need to prove themselves, like we're trying to do in 2 more, 3, 4, 5 more films, so we can have half the budget that they're spending. International funds that you apply to, let's say a fund is for 60K, I'm saying anything, but in the Middle East, you know what, he's fine, he can take 10. And no, it's not fine. I can't take 10. I need more to finish what I need to finish. But that's the very hard part of what we do. So we did do this film for free, but I don't know if I told you guys, I promised the crew to pay them back in the contract, and they're actually waiting in a year or so, so they need their money. But yeah, we did get sponsors, but like technical stuff and food and accommodation, so we can stay so close. But the crew needs to get paid, and we're trying our super best to make it happen.
I mean, the film premiered at the Berlinale, and it had some festivals, you told me, Christelle, and audience prize. And
yes, it premiered at the Berlinale, but unfortunately, because this year the COVID was happening, so it was not happening in person. So the first time there was a public screening, we as producers were not there, but George was there. It was in Poland, and we were really, he told me how astonishing it was for the public, the European public, and the Polish people. They were very happy, and they were able to relate. And this is something very nice, that you wrote a story. It's true that it's Lebanese, but I mean, everyone around can relate to it. So yeah, we won the Audience Award in Poland, and then in another film festival in Istanbul, we won the Fipreski Award, and we won the Special Jury Award. So and we've only been to these festivals, and we're here now, and we have a long way. I mean, maybe 6 more months of festivals. We have to tour in France, Italy, in hope to raise more our voices and to be able to eventually distribute the film properly. Thank you.
maybe a last round, and then we open up for questions, remarks, inputs from all these filmmakers in here, from Switzerland, from, I don't know, wherever they come from, but I see a lot of them from Switzerland, of course, and from the United States. We have one here too. Linda, you were talking about these changes and things happened in the last 10 years, and a lot of things are better now. But if you look for the next 10 years, what are you expecting? What do you think are the next needed things for the film industry in Sweden, particularly?
I think it's just to continue to work with equality and diversity, but also to in Sweden we have like Denmark is a really, in the Nordic country, Denmark has a really good, storytelling history, and we need to make strong storytelling films, I think. So it's more about content, I think, too. And I hope that will, be now with the more equality and so on, we'll have new stories, and I'm so excited to see what that can come out. Yes, so it's very nice.
So staying on the path, but
yes, continue the road.
And you too, what's your next project?
Well, we're hoping George gets inspired very soon to write his second feature. Meanwhile, we're developing a series in-house, and we're very open to any subject that asks for co-production. We're very interested into doing co-production because we need the support of other countries that are more established in terms of funding, in terms of putting us even more on the map. So, yeah.
Talking of visibility, I mean, that's a very important thing, that female or films by women producers, by women directors are being shown, are being talked about. And there's an initiative, or actually a project in Switzerland. Maybe I hand over the microphone to Lisa. It's a Filmstern for Switzerland. Maybe you want the microphone to explain.
Hello, my name is Lisa. I am a director, producer from Switzerland, and I am in the committee of the Writers and Directors Association. And this year, it's the anniversary of the 50th women's voting right. It's only 50 years that we can vote, and for this anniversary, we made a project. We asked our members, female members, to choose, well, they are all directors and writers, to choose a film made by another woman, Swiss woman, and we have a collection of 42 films made by Swiss women, with the text written by a Swiss director, and it's really a really nice project because it's very supportive. It's about visibility, it's about solidarity, and what's also really nice is on almost all the pictures are women. Well, I now picked the ones that are not, but it's really it's really nice to see so many films with female leading roles. So I have a whole box. They're in German and in French. Well, the directors wrote in their mother tongue, so if you're interested, take one. It's a lot of films to discover, old ones, new ones. So feel free. And thank you very much that we can be here with this project.
Thank you, Lisa. So we can pick up a copy from you at the end. They put them here. Okay, let's open up the discussion or the inputs from your side. Who wants to break the ice and maybe add something, maybe ask a question to Christelle, Reine, or Linda up here? Who starts? I can come with the microphone if needed. It's a bit far back, but I try my best.
I can do it.
Oh, you can do it. Okay. Shout.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for the panel. I got a question for Linda, because your film is an animation film, and we heard a lot about the exploitation, about people working for animation. Maybe you can tell a little bit more about the animation industry in Sweden, how it is established, and what does it mean to work for an animation, because you said you needed like about 3 years. In Switzerland, sometimes a feature film goes up to 10 years to do it. So maybe you can tell a bit more. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to Switzerland, because you have made one of my most inspiring work. It's My Life as Zucchini. That was, yes, a fantastic work. And it's really, in the animation industry in Sweden are very small. So for this film, The Ape Star, we had a budget of 3.6 million Swiss francs. And we had to make a co-production between Sweden, Norway, and Denmark to get it to actually have also a working labor. Because and also it was my dream situation, because we work with we did half of the animation in Sweden, 1/4 in Denmark, and 1/4 in Norway. And we work with microfilm and also with Norlum, that also worked on Songs of the Sea, and also had done Oscars winning films actually. So the animation industry is very small in Sweden, which is a problem because of there is people seems to not be so interested in animation in Sweden. So we actually, for next film, we hope to reach out for the France and Belgium, and also here in Switzerland have great production houses and animation. So we will reach out for the next film for co-production with the larger houses. Yes.
I think the subject of co-production is a very important one. I mean, I was talking to you, Reine, before, and you said after this big incident in Beirut, the blast, you know, I mean, it became even more important to be able to go abroad to do post-production. Maybe you talk about this.
The thing is, So I don't know if we failed to mention that. So we won, after production was done, we won a 25K fund, and then we won an 11,000 euro fund, and then they're stuck in the bank. And we can't pull them out. So it's like you won no fund, and it keeps getting worse. So having a co-production means I have someone that is gonna give me a breather, gonna get him inspired to write, or any other person to write, or to think straight, or to be able to actually charge their laptops and do some work, because we are out of electricity and out of all of those, and then takes you and all the stories you have to say coming out of all of this, and puts you in a place where you can breathe and you can actually be productive, and that owns a bank account that's not in Lebanon, that you can get the money out and pay people for a good job they're doing. And I think everybody needs that. And other than the fact that we are living in a shithole, I mean, just exchanging cultures and having other people on set and learning better things they do. Everybody's good at something. I think putting everybody together, I think that's a blessing, and I think everybody should do it. Like, don't stick to the same people. Go wider, learn more. You'll achieve faster, you'll achieve bigger, and then you can have more than one dream set on one set. I think that's beautiful.
Sorry, if I may, I also think it will give the Lebanese crew a right pay, because in general in the industry, none of us is paid his right. I mean, if I do the same job in any other country in Europe or in the States, I would be paid much more. I mean, I don't understand why, if we do this in Lebanon, we are paid so little, even though we went to the same university, we had the same studies, we do the same product, we're in the same festival. So maybe a co-production will actually fight also for our deserved fee, honestly.
Thank you. Some more input, some more questions? Yep. We are a bit blinded here from this beautiful light, but so.
Sorry about that. My name is Susan, and I'm just wondering, how do you market the film? I mean, we talked about developing, producing, but now when we talk about visibility, how is it the situation now coming in Lebanon? I mean, do you get support to market the film, to get the visibility for the audience, for your target at least?
Really, the situation in Lebanon has never been lower or worse, honestly. After the Beirut blast and after the revolution happening, and in general, I mean, we are here today. We never got a phone call from the Ministry of Culture to say, these are Lebanese talent, what do you guys need? I mean, how can we support you? How can we speak to the diaspora so that they come and that they shed the light more? Nobody calls you. I mean, you're on your own. This is so bad. Also, something else very important to say, that if you are working on a project that's a little bit taboo or controversial, chances are you're not going to get the permit to put it in cinemas. You're going to be fought. So you are left with video on demand. So I do like commercial films, and I think they're needed, because sometimes you just need to sit in the cinema room and stop thinking and just enjoy, and you know. But films like ours, films that are that shed light on issues, they can be also fought by your government and kept in the drawer. It's really unfair. So I know we have a tough battle. Even though we were very respectful to, when you want to shoot a film in Lebanon, you need to get a shooting permit. So we have this. But yet again, the people who give you the agreement to put it in cinemas are different people. So they might stop us. And we might be only left with video on demand. And video on demand now, with the whole economical situation that's happening, they're not really paying a lot to the Lebanese industry, especially. So the battle, I don't think the battle is over, honestly.
I mean, in terms of marketing, we're going to go guerrilla marketing, obviously.
Yeah.
With no support, I think we're going to do it ourselves. If we ever manage to get any money out of the bank, we'll pay for a couple of things here and there, but it's mostly we're gonna go with the IG, and we're gonna try to let it roll in social media, because we literally have no support. And it's not only in the filmmaking, like, don't get me wrong. It's you know, we have people that went to the Olympics this year and our country didn't even know. So we only knew about each other. So that's how it is.
And think about the community outside of Lebanon. I mean, you have it in Paris, you have it here, you have it all spread around in Europe. And I think that's where communities use social media, but use also the family.
Yes.
And the women family or female family, because this is all about you. In the VOD business, you will market it if you use your network.
Yes, thank you for the advice.
Good luck.
But I have to say that we are very grateful for the festival circuit in general, because, I mean, if they were not there, if they didn't support us, we would have maybe changed careers. I'm pretty sure I would have done pita bread and somewhere on the beach.
I do really good hummus, by the way. I know you guys like hummus. I do really good hummus.
But
soon.
If I may, yesterday I was lucky to meet Mr. Carlos Chatrian over a drink, and I was telling him that when the film was done and we decided to submit to Berlinale, we were told a lot in Lebanon that you need to have a co-producer who has been there, who knows the programmer, that can give you a way in. And we decided not to do that because we really believed in the film. And also George was very keen that he doesn't want that. So yesterday I was having this chat with Mr. Chatrian, and he told me, this is bullshit. If the film is good, the film will make it. And I'm so happy that we have people like Mr. Christian, I can't see him, but please tell him, that supports us, like Mr. Chatrian. I mean, I'm very, very grateful for the cinema, for the festival circuit, honestly. I believe it will shed the light, and especially the European market, because they like Lebanese films. I don't know why. They identify, maybe it's because we're all on the Mediterranean, but I'm really grateful for Europe in general, and I think Canada also supports us, because there's a lot of, every Lebanese, there's 80 million people, 80 million Lebanese in Canada, and we are 4 million in Beirut, in Lebanon. So yeah, I mean, thank you for the advice. Outside. But yes, we do count on European countries, honestly.
Some more inputs, some more questions? I don't see any. We hardly see everything. Yes, George. George, maybe you show yourself.
Hey, I just want to say something really quickly. I feel so they were underselling themselves a bit, Reine and Christelle, in terms of what they did for the film. This film wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for them. I mean, they really carried the film from the moment I stepped into their office till today. It's just they've been such incredibly powerful human beings to be able to go through everything and endure everything the film had to go through, such a difficult process to get the film made. And they made it so easy and so beautiful for the whole crew to be part of this process. And in terms of the editing process, Christelle definitely undersold herself. So I insisted Christelle be a co-editor on the film, but she didn't want to. She's like, I'm the executive, I don't need that title. Just because the film was all over the place at the first draft. And then Christelle came and watched it and very democratically sculpted the film. You know, she made it what it is. And I believe that's just like, I don't want to sound cliche, but I really think it's her intuition. I think that's a beautiful thing that women have that men don't, you know, this beautiful intuition. And she was able to give that sensitivity to the film, you know, make it what it is. And I'm so grateful to have met them, because this film would not be what it is if it wasn't for these two women. So just that.
Thank you so much. And good luck with your film. I watched it, I liked it very much. Okay. I don't know. Any other comments? Yes. Do you need a microphone?
So this is a general question to you on stage about role models. What should how should mothers train their daughters to become superwomen in film making?
I'm going to be very short. Really, mothers should remove the word I can't and you can't from any sentence or dictionary.
Or how Sharon Stone wrote it in her, and she said it yesterday as well, stand on your goddamn feet.
Yeah, I also think that we here in the room that work within the film industry are superwoman in one way because of I having 2 children. I have a 13-year-old and an 18-year-old, and still there is, this, my husband, he does a lot at home. He cooks food, but still, it still remains in Sweden that if you are the mother, you will have all social activities for your family and, vacation planning, whatever, everything like that. Plus, you will do this film work and, you have your production company, you work. So I think all of us in this room that work within the film industry should really credit ourselves and just, patting yourself on your shoulder that you are a superwoman, because you have to be so talented in all aspects now to survive in this, challenging film industry. And I think so everybody here should just, be, proud of themselves. Yes.
Wonderful. So we congratulate ourselves to be super women. You definitely, the 3 of you, are here on stage. Thank you so much. Yes?
Answering your question, I think what a child needs is love and acceptance from his parents. If he's really loved and accepted, he would not fear to take any decision and do whatever he feels like. And I'm pretty sure if he has the support of his mom and dad, this is all he needs to do anything and achieve anything in life. So yeah.
So what I take from this panel, I think it's the solidarity, it's the co-producing, which is very important, the helping each other, and also that festivals are a very, very important platform to be seen and to show your work and to talk about it and to have a drink together and celebrate the super women in this room. Thank you so much. Thank you, Carolina, for the event. Thank you, Akris, and the Zurich Film Festival.